Hello everyone, welcome back to Greyhack. Today we're going to be doing a level 2 corrupt data. Okay, let's just get started here. So I'm going to start off by nmapping my IP on Viper so that I can get a kernel router ID here. At least we'll have that up, and then I'm going to launch C shell over here and try and get a shell. Cache, oh my gosh, I can't type today. Cache -O. Let's use that HTTP. And let's see what we got here. Looks like we got a user shell, which will work. And we got a mail. I believe, which we'll also need. But we can grab that later. So we'll grab that here in a minute. We're going to escalate our privileges super fast. And that worked. So now we're going to wipe our log so that we don't get caught and open a terminal. Now that we have our terminal open, we're going to File Explorer. Delete that because we don't need that anymore. Bring you over here. First things first, let's go to etc. No, not password. Home. Let's do docker config mail and grab his mail information. Or crack, decipher, whatever you want to do. I'm going to use Viper again to crack it. Oops, it's not going to work. Oh, there we go. Now we're going to grab his email. Paste. We can exit out of that. Grab his password. And now we're going to drop Scanlan into their file server and look at what we got. So we're looking for 92.168.4.5. 4.5, which is right here. And we're behind the firewall, so what we're going to do to get rid of that firewall is browser exe with that IP, the router IP, and then 8080, and come over here and remove the firewalls there so that we can access this computer. And now we're going to scan router to get the kernel router ID. Why are you not working? That's why. Oops. Close. Scan router. Paste. You can get scan router from just the normal tools page here. We're looking for kernel version 389. 389. 389. Eventually I'll get there. Okay. Now we're looking for one that's access to etc password and deciphers its contents, and we're looking for one that says this. We're going to save the source version. Delete my old one. Close. What we're not looking for is one that has required stuff, because it will not work if you need to be connected to the same network. So now that we have that, we're going to come to File Explorer, and edit this really quick. So get rid of everything here. Come over here. Replace etc password with home. Next line, type folders. Get folders file for folders. No, for folder in folders. Print folder dot path, I believe, N4, and now we get rid of these lines. And I will leave this up for just a second so you guys can pause if you need to. This should work. I'll take a look at my notes really quick just to make sure. Just to make sure.
And right here, the 1, 2, 4.
Anything on getting past.
Folder, folders, print folder path, N4. Yep, okay, we're good. So we're going to save that, play it. And I save mine as router test. And now we drag router test over here. And drop meta and crypto in here. I don't know if we need crypto, but might as well drop it. And now we go router test. Bring up this router, paste that. It'll ask us for a LAN, so we can throw in that computer LAN IP, and these will pop up. Yes, it worked perfectly. Okay. So now bring back up my notepad and choose a name. I'm going to do the first one. Paste, and now we're going to steal the end of this email address and paste it on the end of this one, because that will be their email address right there. And now we're going to funny game our way into this computer. So we're going to log in to this address with this password. Compose, funny game. We're going to compose to this guy. And now we're going to connect to our server. If you guys want a video on how to set up a server, let me know down in the comments below. Go ahead and start a bounce there. Grab this IP. Now you can go over there, you can go bye-bye. We can paste that IP in there with our shell port. Hit apply, send, just ran, hope it's gory, perfect. shell interface. I'm going to use port shell 12 because that's what I have, and now we're in their server. Okay, now we file Explorer. Where's my Viper terminal? There it is. I'm going to go to etc password and crack root really quick so that we can sudo ourselves into root. really fast. Go ahead and exit out of all that because we don't need that. Grab that password. We're going to type in sudo s to escalate our privileges. Paste in that password. Now that we're in root, we can open File Explorer and delete everything except for bin. Don't want to delete bin because we need to reboot the computer. Delete, 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 reboot. Should reboot everything, and now we should be able to reply to this email and complete the job. Perfect. Exit. Exit out of those just to make sure. Exit out of that, and boom, there you have it. There's one of those jobs completed. Shall we do one more? Let's do a police one. Let's see if we can find the police one to do. Find evidence of a crime. Let's do that. Viper. Let's nmap this IP, see what we got. That looks much different than what we had. Okay. So now we're going to see if we can grab a shell. Actually, before we do that, let's see what kernel router we have. See what versions we got. Nothing. So I'm not going to be able to do that one, which kind of sucks. Let's try and find a hacker's computer, level 3. Okay. Nmap. So the unfortunate thing about the way I'm doing this is there has to be that exploits in here. Otherwise, it just won't work. That's not there. Nmap 189. Nope. Thought I had it. Guess I didn't. I'll be right back while I find the job. Okay, well that wasn't very long. I'm back now. So I found one I need. So we're going to save that file and see if we can grab a shell from this IP really quick. HTTP. Let's use all our exploits. We got 2 shells, perfect. Got a guest shell. Let's escalate our privileges again. Wipe our logs and open a terminal. Here we go. File Explorer. Crap, cancel. Still need you, don't need you. Browser, File Explorer, who are you? Okay, you're the one I need. So we're going to throw Scanlan in there again and see what we got. Done. Looking for 192.168.22.14. 22.14, which is right here. Okay. So I'm going to scan router again just to make sure that we have the right the right thing. Kernel router 266, which we have. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to go and edit this again. Gray out everything and get password because we want the exploit to do all that. Replace etc password with home. Folders with the syntax of get folders, file, and then we're going to type for folder in folders, print folder dot path. Then we're going to type in N4 and bring this stuff back up and gray everything out from under there. And save, play. Router test, save, replace. I'm going to save you just in case I didn't. Drop router test over here. And before we go any further, we're going to grab an email. So again, copy that. Paste that inside our notepad. Grab this hash. Crack that. Grab that. Password. Okay. Now we're going to router test. Oops. And throw in that router IP. Meta exploit not found. I forgot to throw that inside my lib. Inside the lib. Boom. And crypto. Okay. Now let's run it again. Okay, now we paste our LAN in there. And there we go. Got the names again. So now we're done with that. Paste you there. Copy you. Paste you. And now we're going to funny game. So let's go ahead and log into that email. Paste. Paste. And compose a funny game to this email. And open our server again. Grab that IP. Paste the IP with the port number 1222. Send and open up our R shell interface. And I'm going for port 12 again. And we're in. Find any evidence that can incriminate the suspect and attach it to the response. So, File Explorer. I'm assuming, I believe I've seen this before. I think it's the image. Reply, attach, image, send. Customer is satisfied. Okay, we did it. Okay. Now we can exit out of everything. No. And that's how you do those 2 missions. If, of course, you can find the right exploit, which I hope you guys can, because this really streamlines a lot of the process, and allows you to do pretty much every mission that's in here. And yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching. I hope this video helped. Don't forget to like and subscribe.